Hello, dear students. Today we will be talking about the chapter Deep Water, written by William Douglas. A beautiful chapter that gives a beautiful learning. It not only talks about the phobia, the fear that the narrator had from this deep water, but this chapter also talks about his willpower, his determination with which he fought his phobia. He was able to overcome his fear, and how he became successful in his life only and only after fighting off his fear. The learning that the narrator got, that there is nothing like fear in the life. It is only and only our own inner thoughts, our own inner feelings that stop us from doing things. If we win over our own thoughts, then we are afraid of nothing. Let's see the theme of the chapter. In this particular chapter, Douglas talks about his fear of water and how he finally overcomes it with strong willpower, courage, hard work, and firm determination. Once he took courage and he found that his fear vanished. That shows most of our fears are baseless. Fear creates dangers where there is none. The writer's experiences further confirm the proverbial truth: where there is a will, there is a way. So, this was his learning after the entire incident of his life. He learned that all the fears are baseless. There is danger in nothing. If you have the strong willpower to face your own fears, then there is nothing that you cannot do. The dangers are only and only in our mind, in our thoughts. And if we learn to win over our mind and our thoughts, then we will be victorious over each and everything. How did this fear of water begin? For the narrator, his aversion began when he was small little child of 3 to 4 years. He was once taken to California beach by his father. Though he was holding the hand of his father, but somehow the strong wave knocked him down, and he slipped and fell inside the huge wave. Still lingering to his father, he could experience the strong gush of water. For the first time, he experienced the strong force of water. Water swept over him. He could see only and only water around him. And this was the first time that the fear of water set in his mind. It was here that his mind started telling him again and again that water is dangerous. Stay away from water. But then, learning to swim was essential. The easiest way of learning swimming was the Yakima River. The Yakima River that was there in their town. And all the general children used to go and swim over there. But it was a treacherous river, a dangerous one, a fatal, a deadly one, because it was rough. It had a very strong force. There were normal and there were casual drownings each day. Narrator's mother was very skeptical about sending the narrator over there. She did not want the narrator to experience all these things, and so she kept on warning the narrator not to go even near the Yakima River. She kept fresh in his mind that each and every day there is a drowning in the river, and this added to the narrator's fear. Every time, whenever he went past Yakima, or whenever he thought of going near Yakima, the same events and incidents of drowning came to his mind, and his mind again stopped him. His mind again reminded him of the incident of the California beach. And then the fear grew, and he was stopped from going near the Yakima River. But then, as he was growing as a child, his father decided that he was to be sent somewhere to learn swimming. So a safe place was searched for him, and it was the YMCA pool. The YMCA pool was safe because it had trained coaches and trainers and instructors. It had a swimming pool which was comfortable for every category of swimmers. For the untrained and the new ones, it had a shallow end which was just 2 to 3 feet deep. And for the trained and the learned ones, it had the bottom of 9 feet deep. But it was not so that the fall of the bottom was a sudden one. It was a very gradual one. So from the shallow end to the deep end, the slope of the bottom was very, very gradual, and it was very safe with all the instructors, coaches, and guards around. One day, the narrator reached the pool, and when he reached the pool, he found that the pool was all empty. He was a bit nervous getting into the pool all by his own self. So he decided that he will wait for his coach. And so he sat on the side of the pool, dipping his skinny legs into the water. Suddenly, an 18-year-old bully boy came. He picked up the narrator and tossed him down into the water. It was then that the narrator realized that he was actually sitting on the side of the 9 feet deep pool. He started descending down towards the bottom of the pool. He was very afraid, but his fear was not so big that he lost the presence of his mind. His mind was still working, and this time his mind was making strategy to come out. So Douglas made a plan that as soon as his feet will hit the bottom of the pool, he would jump and come to the surface. And like a small little light wooden cork, he would float on the surface of water, reach towards the side railing, and then he would come out. He was going down in the 9 feet deep pool. Those 9 feet appeared to be 90 for him, because this was the first time he was into such a deep pool. His attempts failed. The first attempt failed. The second attempt failed. The third time, when he was descending down towards the bottom of the pool, he felt weak. He felt as if all the energy was taken out of him, as if his legs, his body, his arms were not working. His head was throbbing badly. Heart was pumping badly. Lungs, all filled with water, were aching. He felt as if he was going under a deep sleep. It was then that he realized that till the time he was struggling for his survival, it was painful. But now, as he was standing face to face with death and he was experiencing the calmness of death, he realized that death is actually peaceful. The disturbance is only and only in the attempt of survival. After that, he became unconscious. It was a nearly dying condition for him. This particular incident or misadventure left a very deep impact on him. When he regained his consciousness, he found that he was lying on the side of the pool. There were coaches and instructors who were pumping his stomach and helping him to vomit out the entire water from his stomach. The bully boy was standing and he was regretting for the prank he had done. But this incident left a big phobia of water in the mind of the narrator. Douglas could not help going near the water after that. He did not go near the water. He stopped going to the swimming pool. He escaped all the fishing trips. He did not go for boating, for canoeing. Even a small little pit of water or the seasonal streams or the brooks frightened him because it was the mind that was constraining him from doing so. Again and again he was told, he was remembered of that particular incident, and he was not able to fight from his own thoughts. So this particular incident actually deprived him of joy of canoeing, boating and swimming. Slowly and gradually he started feeling inferior due to the fear of water. Because he could not join his friends, he could not join his family on these adventure trips. He was an adventure loving person. He loved going to different kind of water sports. He once tried also, but every time he felt his body paralyzing as soon as he got into the water. So later he decided that he needs an instructor to overcome his fear of water. An instructor who could teach him right from level 0. An instructor who could understand his problem and who could teach him right from the starting, like a small little toddler. He practiced 5 days a week, 1 hour each day. Initially, the instructor helped him to get into the water. Douglas was tied to a rope, and the other end of the rope was caught taut by the instructor. As soon as the instructor used to lose the rope, the same fear used to return in the mind of Douglas. It took him weeks together to overcome his fear, and then later he was taught to exhale underwater and inhale above water. He was taught the limb coordination, how his hands and legs should move. Slowly and gradually, he started developing confidence. He started enjoying swimming. He was taught different strokes: the crawl stroke, the breaststroke, side stroke, and the backstroke. But there was still one question lingering in his mind. Will he be comfortable if he gets out of the pool? Will he be comfortable if he comes out of the security of his instructor? Will the fear not disturb him if he is all alone in the water? So, to answer all these questions, he wanted to test himself. He wanted to test himself when he was alone. He wanted to test himself when he was not in the pool, but he was in open water. Being an adventurous person, a courageous, a bold one, he decided to go into the open water. He went to Lake Wentworth in Hampshire, swam 2 miles to Stamp Act Island. And this was not the end, but the beginning. When he dived into the lake, and as soon as he reached the middle of the lake, he felt the same fear returning back to him. And every time, whenever the fear returned, he personified the fear and told the fear to get away. He started enjoying his fear, because it was the fear that was giving him the courage to fight against and to do it. He also went up to Mammoth Glacier to swim in Warm Lake near Gilbert Park. When he realized that his fear was killed, when he realized that there was no more fear in his mind, he shouted with joy. But he did not end up over here. He tried each and every kind of water body, be it swimming into the chilled water of glaciers, or the warm waters, or the rough waters, or the smooth waters. Going for the adventurous water trips, canoeing, rafting, etc., he enjoyed each and everything. And it was only and only his determination, his strong willpower, his perseverance that helped him to overcome his fear. From this entire misadventure, from his own willpower to learn, the one thing that he realized was that in death there is peace, there is terror only in fear of death. We are not afraid of dying, we are afraid of the pain that we will suffer during the duration of dying or while we are dying. This is the fear which has been inculcated into us, that death is very painful, and we are afraid of that perception. We are afraid of that particular thought. It is not the death that is painful. It is the fight of survival that is painful, and we are actually afraid of that. When we remove our fear, and if we are ready to fight all odds, if we are ready to fight any kind of problem and struggle that comes to us, then there is no fear anywhere. Let's see about the character sketch of Douglas. He was adventurous in nature, and that was the only reason that he could fight his fear, because he wanted to experience those adventures. He never wanted to suffix himself or stop himself into one particular room, into one particular area. He wanted to experience everything. Had a love for life. He wanted to live. He never wanted to live as a dead man, but he wanted to live as a lively man. And so he decided to fight with all his odds. He was courageous and bold. Obviously, it takes a lot and a lot of courage to fight with your own fears and fight from your own self. It is not easy to fight your own inhibitions. He had a strong spirit to overcome his fear. He was not frightened by crisis. So while entering into the Lake Wentworth or any other lake, etc., he was not afraid. He simply trusted on his own self, and he took everything as a challenge. He had strong determination, perseverance, and fearlessness. These are the practice questions. You can do these practice questions. They would certainly help you out. Thank you, dear students. I hope I made your learning easy. Keep watching my channel and stay blessed. Thank you.